attitude. I think we've been able to stick together through a lot of adversity, and I think just what we've kind of hung our hats on, what we've believed in, our culture, the togetherness. We've been able to truly build on that, and I think we should be encouraged. Just getting to the Western Conference Finals, being one of the Final Four teams remaining without our starting center. Just dealing with a lot of injuries on our team. I look back at it, and obviously this is not how we planned on going out once we got here, but I think it was a great season for us.
Have you already had your exit interview with Neil?
No, I haven't.
When you do, will you talk to him about personnel and maybe what you'd like to see from the roster next year?
I'm sure it'll be a conversation about it, but I'll probably be the one listening. Obviously when they ask me questions or what I think about stuff, I'll give them answers. But since I've been here, they've done a great job, and I think that's a huge part of why we've been able to continue to be a successful team and continue to push forward.
What do you think this team's missing?
I'm not sure. Anything that I'm a part of, I become a believer of that. So I believe in our team. I think going into the Western Conference Finals, in my mind, this was a shot for us to win it all. I really felt that we could have beat the Warriors and went on to win it all. So I'm not sure I can say it's something that we need or anything like that. I think if we have Nurk, it's a completely different situation, and that's not to be a crutch or to be an excuse or nothing like that. I just think with him out there, I think this would have, our season would have probably been extended a little bit longer. And, I think you got to take that into consideration. But it's always, every season is free agents. Every season rosters change. So that means it's always an opportunity for you to improve your roster. So I'm not sure exactly what we need to do, but, that's something that we'll be discussing.
In about a month, you can become eligible for Supermax. Is that something that interests you?
Yeah, I don't understand why that's a question. I'm really confused by that.
Can you put your finger on what made this group a special group? What stands out to you about this particular group?
I just think our ability to stay together over the course of an NBA season since I've been in the league is so many storylines, and now you got social media, and anybody can be a writer and they can post anything online. You got people with 10 Twitter followers that's posting like as if they were a media member, and people actually retweet it and comment on it and make a discussion of stuff like that, and then it could end up on SportsCenter. You have stuff like that now, so it just makes it harder for teams to stay together. You get gossip between things that happen between players and the coaches, and what the fans are saying, and y'all lost this game. It's a lot that goes on, so it makes it hard for teams to stay together. So for our team to be able to go through what we went through last year in the playoffs and then come back with the right attitude, and then just be able to fight through everything. Every time adversity came in our direction, we just stayed together. And I think that was one of our biggest strengths compared to, maybe other teams.
What did it mean to you to be able to break through? And you talked about wanting to bring a championship to Portland one day, and to see it come closer than you've ever been.
It meant a lot because, I get up in front of you guys and I'm always saying, this is what I see happening. I think if we stay together, we keep working, and we keep getting better, this is what I see happening. And it just seemed like, time after time after time, we come up short and everybody's looking like, yeah, same old story. You're going to get up there and say the same thing. But I really believed what I was saying. I've always said things that I mean, and for us to be able to get over that hump and get into the Western Conference Finals, it was also reassuring for me, just to get there. Like, okay, it was hard, and you know, it took a lot out of us, but it's definitely possible. You know, it's a reality, and I think people who might not have believed before, people who might have, you know, thought I was crazy for thinking that we could push that far before, you know, now I'm sure a lot of people believe it more than they did at that time. You know, we were coming off a sweep in the first round, so it's a great feeling just to know, okay, you know, we had a 15-plus lead in 3 out of 4 games. We know that we were capable of winning those games, and if those things go in our direction, you know, we looking at going to the finals. And once you get there, it's on, and anything can happen. But I think more than anything, we showed that it's a real possibility. You know, it's not just wishful thinking and us, I guess, saying this is what we want to do, or, you know, putting it out there and not really believing it. I think we showed that we can get it done.
What's your summer going to be like?
The same as it always is. I'm sure Adidas is going to have me moving around, shoots, commercials, time with my family. That's always something that I'm doing. But no, I don't think it'll be any different than any past summers. This summer, just my training, I'll be doing. I'll be staying active. You know, probably in the next few days, just start not like super hard training, but just stuff to keep my body in good shape.
You don't get to see Anthony, obviously. What do you
I
think?
didn't hear what you said. You said yeah.
We don't get to see Ant, you know, because he doesn't play.
Yeah.
So, can you enlighten us to what you see every day from him, and maybe on what kind of potential he has?
I mean, his potential is crazy. I mean, I think last year I was here for both of his workouts for the team, and he just looked so young. But when I was watching him, he was so explosive. He was a shot maker. You know, he can get to spots on the floor that a lot of people struggle to get to the way he can do it. And, you know, being able to shoot the ball, being that type of athlete, really good floater. But I think his demeanor is what sold me. You know, it kind of reminded me of myself a lot with just how in a room full of grown men in the locker room, you know, he's never uncomfortable. He's never if everybody's on one side, he don't just agree with everybody because, you know, he feels like he has to or something like that. You know, he stands on his own 2 feet, and he works. You know, he puts the time in. He doesn't complain. You know, I think he has a lot of qualities about him that make me believe if he just keeps working and keep developing, I think when I'm on my way out, y'all gonna be talking to him every game. So,
what did you learn in terms of keeping your body physically, mentally, everything still in as good a shape as you can, playing this many games, considering you haven't played this many games before?
well, I think just the experience is the best teacher for that. But I think I did do all the right things, not just last summer with, you know, how hard I worked on the court, but in my conditioning, the nutrition, you know, just not working harder all the time, working smarter. This was the first year where we had practices and coach would be like, Dame, make sure you get a sub, make sure you have somebody subbing in for you. And in the past, we would get into a drill where it would be like the drill would be tied, and they would be telling me to have a sub, and I'd end up playing another 15 minutes because I was trying to win a drill in practice. And I think this was the first time where I was like, I listened. Like, I got over my pride of just wanting to win drills in practice and stuff like that. So I think that really helped me, just being smarter about stuff. This was also the first season where I kind of sustained, like, my training. You know, I hired a guy full-time, Phil Beckner, who was my coach in college, and he'd come to Portland every week and a half, 2 weeks, and we would come back at night after practice and get a light shooting workout in, get some finishing in, get some floaters in, shoot free throws, shoot deep threes. go on if it was a long road trip, he would meet me on the road, and we would find a gym, and we would do our training. And I think just being able to stay committed to that, even on the times where I didn't feel like doing it, or I was a little bit tired, or didn't feel like going to the gym, I think it really showed in my play this season. And the same thing in the weight room.
Last question. We've got to have a team meeting here in a second. So
Next season, Dave, would you be open to some, what they're calling load management, a rest game once in a while, like a lot of players do? Would you be open to that?
I mean, I would love to, have games where I can, when I'm not feeling great, obviously not just show up and say I'm not playing, but those nights where you've played a bunch of games in a short amount of time and you just feel a little bit banged up, and then sometimes it takes you to end of the first quarter, middle of the second to really get yourself going because you don't feel great out there. It would be great to on those nights to be able to rest or whatever, but I don't feel I've ever really had that luxury, to just say, all right, we've always needed to win games, and we have to do that a certain way, so I've never felt like that was a real option.